In this week's Thoughtfully Fit Gym free workout, we explored how to lead meetings with confidence, and specifically, how can you lead meetings that people actually want to attend?
And so specifically, we looked at a variety of different questions that you can use when you engage your core and you pause, think, and act. What are some questions you can ask yourself ahead of that meeting? I'm going to start with my favorite question. Darcy, you know this about me. Can this meeting be an email?
Because there's nothing worse than being in a meeting that could have been an email.
Yes. And so recognizing, we brainstormed in the workout today the different times where it can be an email, if it's an update, if it's a timeline of things coming up, or really, in my opinion, anything that happened in the past, that can be an email. You don't need people to brainstorm, discuss, because it already happened in the past. And Darcy, I want you to speak to one of a few people in the meeting said, like, if I don't talk about in the meeting, then nobody's going to read my emails. I thought you had a beautiful reply to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the frustrating things that was brought up. We had a lot of people in today's workout, so clearly this is a hot topic, and I don't remember what my response was. So you're gonna.
So what Darcy said was, if you continue to tell people, well, we're just going to talk about this in the meeting, you're training people to not read the email. Does that refresh your memory, Darcy? Anything you want to add?
Absolutely, because thank you, because the person was sharing that the reason that we recap things is because they don't read the emails. Well, I know if that was me and I'm sitting in a meeting saying we're going to recap the email, I'd be like, well, why would I, when the email comes through, why would I read it if I know you're just going to recap it anyway? I'm not going to do it twice. You're training people. Just like one of my most frustrating things with meetings is when the meeting starts at 2:00 and the leader says, you know what, let's give it a couple more minutes for people who aren't here yet. Well, you better believe you're training me to not come on time next time.
So let's look at a couple more questions that you can think about ahead of that meeting. This one looks at your headspace. So consider, what headspace are you in and what headspace do you want to be in? And so heading into every meeting, we're not always in a good mood. We're not always totally focused and prepared and present and all the things. And so taking that moment, one, to get clear on where am I right now, just to acknowledge and honor where you're currently at, but then to think about how do I want to be showing up for this meeting? And so you might want to be present. You might want to be positive. You might want to be listening and calm and collaborative. Maybe you need to be like, this is a meeting where you're going to be a little bit more direct, where you're going to need to go toe to toe. There's not one right answer to this. The right answer here is, what do you know about how you need to be showing up in this meeting?
And this is really grounded in the Thoughtfully Fit practice of strength, where you are consciously choosing, you're being an intentional in how you want to show up. What's your headspace? We had somebody on our team years and years ago who every meeting she came in, and I think it was a blind spot. She had no idea. She was just venting the traffic, the belt line. Oh, I just got this call and I'm so frustrated. And it was a wet blanket on the entire meeting. And there was not a lot of intentionality in how she was showing up. And so think about, is that you? What's the energy you're bringing in to your meeting? What kind of headspace do you want to be in?
Here's the next question then. What do you want to have be different at the end of the meeting than you have right now? In other words, what's the goal? And the more concrete that you can get about this, the better. And so here's what not to say. I want to talk about Q3. What the heck does that mean, right, Darcy? Like, talk about, are you brainstorming? Are you making decisions? Are you problem solving? Are you debating different options? Get clear on what the goal is for the meeting. And then what's critical here is, don't keep this a secret. I can't tell you how many meetings we've observed where the meeting leader has a very clear goal for the meeting, but they don't necessarily tell the other people in the group what their goal is for that meeting.
And this could even be, this could be the, for the meeting, or it even could be for individual action items, issue items on the agenda. And Jill you're really good at this, where you'll give me a heads up. Here's the goal for this issue. I want you to just poke holes in it and just tell me what's missing, or what do you wish was different? Or Darcy, the team, we've been working on this really hard. We want to send this blog out tomorrow. Really just want you to see, is there anything glaring that's not okay? We don't want you poking holes in it. We don't want you brainstorming. This is a finished product. That way I know what the goal is, even for individual action items or discussion items on an agenda.
And that leads to the final think question then, heading into that meeting. What are you expecting from others, and what can they expect from you? And so if you are expecting people to participate in discussion, tell them that. We often hear from meeting leaders, it's like, it's just crickets. I ask people for input and they don't tell me anything. Well, if you're not telling folks what you're expecting, are you expecting an attaboy, right? Because sometimes leaders will ask for critique in the meeting, but then will immediately tell people why their critique is wrong. Well, that's a good way to not get any more critique, because then you just want to be agreed with. So both in your words and your actions, be clear in what you're expecting. And as Darcy said, like this can take time with the team to get clear on, but there are times where I come to Darcy and I'll say, Darcy, I've been working really hard on this and it's not quite there yet, but be gentle with it as we talk about it, compared to the times where it's like, Darcy, I am stuck. I don't know, tear this apart. When I can set that expectation in that meeting, one, it makes her job easier of like, oh, okay, this is what you're looking for. And then she doesn't have to guess what it is that I'm looking for.
And anytime you can design that up front and be proactive in telling people what to expect or what you're expecting from them, you're going to get a better outcome in your meeting. Is this a discussion? Is this a debate? Is this a decision's already been made? And I just want to give you a heads up and have a discussion around what do you need to get behind it, because it's happening, it's done. So if you are wanting some coaching, some training on how to lead effective meetings, reach out to us. We do coaching, we do trainings, we do workshops and programs and masterclasses to help you lead and manage your teams intentionally. And we'd love to work with you. Thank you so much for joining us for today and the recap of our Thoughtfully Fit Gym workout. Take care.